Welcome to the Jesuit School Network's Summer 2024 Masterclass. We've been excited to get started. We've been planning for this day for many months. It's hard to believe that we're here to June 4th, but here we are. For those of you that I don't know yet, I am Kristen Ross Cully, and I serve as Director of Educational Inquiry with the Jesuit School Network's conference team. We are thrilled that you have all said yes to this endeavor over the summer, and we thank you for being here. So just a couple of notes here as we get started. First, if you are in a spot where you're able to keep your cameras on, we would love if you would do so. Of course, we're hoping through the course of the summer, we see lots of backgrounds of beaches and mountain vacations and backyards and lakes and all that good stuff. But if you're able to, of course, it just makes us feel so much more connected in this endeavor across the network. If you can please remember to keep your microphone muted. We will be recording these sessions and we'll make them available after the fact. So we'll be mindful here that you're recording. I'm sure you saw that as you logged on. Knowing that we are all in very different spots. So looking across my screen here, I know some schools are already on summer vacation. Some are getting close to it. Others still have a ways to go, still looking forward to graduations and final exams and all of that good stuff. So we're all in different places, which is terrific. I like to think of the summertime for all educators as being a time for hopefully rejuvenation, for some reflection, for just a space to pause from the busyness and the hurriedness of the school year. And of course, in that pause is a perfect opportunity for so many of us to get to engage in some of the learning and the thinking and hopefully the fun that we might miss or skimp on a bit during the craze of the school year. So we hope that's what this summer masterclass is, that in the pause, we all have an opportunity to learn something that we're interested in. Knowing again that we're all in different spots, let me take a few moments to offer some context setting. So to bring the work that we are about to engage in to the front of our minds here. The title of our third annual summer masterclass is Adapt, Experiment, Play, and Implement. Learning how to utilize artificial intelligence in Jesuit schools by reimagining our classrooms and workspaces with adaptability and purpose. We are reminded that the evolution of AI has the potential to transform education, influencing the role of educators, of all of us, in ways big and small. Our charge as teachers and leaders is to craft communities that accompany students in their learning journey. How do we best do this in a constantly changing landscape? Many educators feel like they are trying to keep up with their students in using AI. And this summer masterclass will offer an opportunity for teachers from around the network to carve out time and space to very practically learn for themselves, for ourselves, how to use artificial intelligence. By dedicating time to experiment and to play, most importantly, with resources readily available, participants will learn how to adapt and implement this new world into their classrooms in the fall. Through hands-on learning, we hope to collectively reflect on what accompanying students on their learning journey looks like today, ultimately asking ourselves, how can I reimagine my role as an Ignatian educator? What's exciting to us at the JSN is that this cohort over the summer includes just about 80 educators in all different roles from all across the network. We have roughly 22 schools that are represented from around North America. And I found it very interesting to think about the names of the schools and the locations of the schools that are involved in this summer program. So just to mention a few, Brophy College Prep, Cheverest, Christ the King Jesuit College Prep, Creighton Prep, Fordham Prep, Gonzaga College High School, Jesuit High School in Portland, Our JSN conference staff team is represented here. Loyola Sacred Heart High School, Loyola School, Regis High School, Regis Jesuit High School, Rockhurst, Sacred Heart Nativity Middle School, St. Bon's, St. Ignatius College Prep, St. Ignatius High School, St. Joe's Prep, St. Louis University High School, St. Xavier High School, Seattle Prep, Strake, and I'm sure I've missed a few in that list. But again, remarkable to think that we are all here on a morning over the summer, gathered to learn together. So with that context in mind, let me formally turn it over to our leader here for the summer, and I will offer a proper introduction to him. You'll get to know Spencer Wagner quite well, we hope. Spencer is a mathematics and fine arts and media teacher at Regis Jesuit High School in Denver, Colorado. He embarked on his educational journey as a high school field hockey coach nearly 25 years ago. A graduate of the University of Denver, Spencer holds a bachelor's degree in mathematics, a minor in computer science, and a master's degree in education. For the last 15 years, he has been an integral part of Regis Jesuit High School, instructing in mathematics and computer science while also coaching field hockey. Recently, he authored The Rise of the Teacher Coach, Adapting AI to the Classroom, a visionary work on the evolution of secondary education. Building on this, he has spearheaded school-wide efforts to adapt to readily changing technologies and collaborated with administrators to refine educational strategies, all in the hopes of better preparing our teachers to accompany students on their lifelong learning journeys. So I'm very pleased to introduce our leader for the summer, Spencer Wagner. Spencer, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Kristen. I'm excited to be here. A little less so since I just noticed that ChatGPT crashed moments ago. So hopefully that gets back up and running before our class gets well underway, as that's an integral part of what we're training on today. I would like to begin today's session with a prayer. So if you're all please join me in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Send us your spirit of wisdom, O Lord, as we study. Let our efforts lead us to a deeper knowledge of you, of your people, and of your world. May we find you, our Creator and Lord, our God and Savior, in all things. Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen. Well, we're going to jump right into it with a little warm-up game. You might call this a homework quiz. I did send you out some homework, and we are going to look at our first AI tool today by playing around with one of my favorites, and it is on the topic of the homework that we had assigned. I see Max Clark has already joined. Well done, Max. Everybody else, you're going to see on my screen here a little quizzes code, and I am hoping that you will jump on in there, putting your name so I know who you are, and I can just kind of track who all is here today. So you should see on the screen now we've got joinmyquiz.com is the website to go to, and then you enter this code when you get there. You should see your name pop up on my screen when you've successfully joined in. This is 10 questions. This is quick. This is on one of the videos that was listed to be watched before this session, and I hope Kristen doesn't mind, but she is a couple of the questions in there. Spoilers. So you might use that as your answer. We have the ability to start this game even if everyone's not in yet, but I'm going to give it a second here to give you a chance to join. And when we do start, you can still join. So if you are waiting to get in, that's okay. Quizzes is one of the apps I've been using in my class for several years, and it recently got a ton of AI integration, which I am excited about as a teacher, and I use this pretty regularly throughout the year. We'll go ahead and give it 5 more seconds here. I'll hit start. The code will still be on the screen, so you can still join, but let's go ahead and give everybody a chance to play this game. And then I'm going to talk about the process afterwards. I will keep the leaderboard up there. You can give it a shot. Oh, I know that name. Well done, Amanda. You're in the lead. I'll talk a little bit about quizzes as we go through. If you're not familiar with the app, it does keep a running score of how the class is doing. It tells you how many people are in. You can look through everyone's names here if you want, but as you can see, only 50 people can
just the
actually
X's because you're not doing a system.
the leaderboard. We have the ability to also peruse questions on how everyone is doing. It shows you a live accuracy reading. You can sort by accuracy. I'll go over this again when everybody's finished or when we're close to done. You're probably not looking at my video right now, especially if you've got it on the screen and you're playing. So this is a couple of things. One, it engages everyone immediately off the bat. And I like to start a lot of classes warming up this way. Two, it gets through multiple choice questions very rapidly. It doesn't rely on the teacher to it allows students to self-pace through. It gives me a lot of quick data just to see kind of what people took away. It lets me talk about whatever idea I want to warm up. And it creates active learning, which is something I'm a big fan of. Looks like we've already got some winners here, or at least leaders for now. But as you can see there, getting questions correct gives you more points than doing them quickly. So a 9-streak score or a 10-streak score will get you into the lead. There's also redemption questions. There's a lot of gamification elements in here, which normally I'm not really into too much, as they seem gimmicky, but this one helps to keep students engaged. I can even give you power-ups if you're behind. We'll go ahead and send everybody supersonic just to try to get them to finish quickly. There's my tools as a teacher. And a lot of you, once you finish, you can come back to my main share screen, and you should be able to see what I see, which is the accuracy of these questions. We can see that people did understand the main focus of the symposium. And after that, it sorts by level of accuracy. The red ones at the bottom are the ones that were the toughest. Only about half of us got this correct, as in the key question at the heart of the symposium. And what role did Kristen Roskilly hold before joining the JSN? Did we remember that one or not? About half of us did. Hey, I'll take 50% on that. That's pretty good from a recent video watch through. And as you can see here, many of these were easier questions. Now, the thing about this is not necessarily the game itself. That's not what I'm most concerned with. Though, for those of you who have done particularly well, let's go ahead and end it. And I'll congratulate you on our podium publicly. Leah Malm, representing, well done, representing the RJ. Jackie and Sarah Kendall with the win. Very nice. So why do I show this off? And it's not because the questions are particularly interesting, but it is more so the process of how I got here. So if I exit this, it takes me to my home screen, and I'll tell you how I got here. I can go back through this data later. I created from quizzes.com, one of the resources I'll send you out today, a generate with AI content. All I did was take a YouTube video, which was the video that you all watched, and I literally just dropped the link in here and pressed create. Upon doing that, you see the questions that you received from the video. So it took the video's script, it created 10 questions, and that took me all of 20 seconds to get up and ready for class today. You can do it with anything. You can do a website. You could drop a website and create a quiz. You could drop your own documents if you have a study guide or you have content that you have the students assigned. You can create from scratch, but who does that in the modern day and age? When you can do this in 20 seconds. And I perused the questions. I thought this is pretty great for the first little introductory bit of that video. I limited it to 10 questions, so it only did about the first half an hour of the video in terms of content, but I could have done more. So I want to start us off there. We've got a question. Can it access Kahoot and convert it over to this platform? You can download Kahoot, probably. You can download the questions, and then you can upload if you wanted to do that. I'm going to switch gears. We're going to come back to quizzes and other materials, but before we do that, I want to take a look at a little bit of where we're going with the future of this technology. And to do that, we're going to watch a couple of videos. Then I'll come back to some more tools to share with you. Let me go ahead and share again. We're sharing sound. That should be
finding success in our studies, as well as our summer athletics, so we can come into school next year ready to be the best we've ever been. I pray that you allow us to be ourselves.
Someone's microphone might be on.
Sports and academics, so it can benefit us all later on.
Okay, so that's one tool that you have available to you. Here's another one that just came out this week, and I do try to keep everything pretty relevant. The video that you watched from my presentation last November was about 6 months ago, and that means that AI technology has quadrupled since then. And what I mean by that is it is 4 times more powerful in terms of intuitively doing what you want it to do, and it is 4 times faster. So a lot of technology integration relies on the speed at which we can integrate it. One of the coolest things is watching tools that should be here soon show up in your inbox. This is one of them. This is a website called Perplexity, and I cannot show it to you today because I don't have the early access. They just released this last week, but I want to give you a little show of what's coming down the pipeline. So many of you probably create pages for your canvas or whatever your learning platform is. This is now creating personally customizable web pages that fills in all of the content from a single prompt. So if you have a topic that you know you want to do, it will create these what apparently are just like well put together graphics, media, web pages on any topic, and it will fully expand it. So you can create a notes page on an individual lesson this way. It will put the images in automatically. It allows you to rewrite automatically. It's just another one of those creation tools that teachers can use. So like the quizzes platform, we have a lot coming up soon that will really take away that preparation time that eats up a lot of our extra hours in the day. The second thing that's coming up very soon, and I hope some of you have already seen this video, because this is Sal Khan, the inventor of Khan Academy. He's been partnering with OpenAI and ChatGPT since August of 2022. He got early access. And he is the first one to show off the tutoring capabilities of their latest GPT-4o model, which has not been released, but should be coming in the next 3 months. About every 3 months, technology doubles. So he's showing off early access. This technology already exists. And let me show you just a minute or two of this video.
OpenAI invited myself and my son Imran here to try how good it might be at tutoring someone in math on Khan Academy. So let's get it started. It's loading up.
Now I'll pause here to point out they have installed ChatGPT locally on this device. It is on his iPad. This little rectangle with the dot in the center is the AI. And if you have seen the movie Her, which came about 10 years ago, it's going to be oddly reminiscent to that.
All right, make sure it can see our screen.
Actually, in this format,
hello there. I'm here with my son, and I'd love you to tutor him on this math problem, but don't give him the answer. You can ask questions and nudge him in the right direction, but I really want to make sure he understands it himself. And he's here in the room, so you can talk to him directly.
Of course, I'd be happy to help. Let's look at the problem together. Can you first identify which sides of the triangle are the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse relative to angle alpha?
All right, so I'm pretty sure this is the angle alpha right here, right?
Perfect. That's correct. Now, looking at the triangle, which side do you think is the hypotenuse?
Really,
Remember the hypotenuse?
I'm not totally sure. I think it might be this one, but I really am not sure. This side AC.
You're close. Actually, side AC is called the adjacent side to the angle alpha. The hypotenuse is the longest side of a right triangle and is directly opposite the right angle. Can you find which one is the hypotenuse?
Oh, okay, I see. So, I think the hypotenuse is this really long side from A to B. Would that be correct?
Exactly. Well done.
We're going to pause there. And I'm going to point out a couple of things that you should probably be thinking about as educators. One is this is 3 months away from being installed on every device of your students' cell phones, iPads, Mac computers. It will be a little longer probably before the PC version because Microsoft and whatnot. The second thing is that sounds very much like Scarlett Johansson's voice. Scarlett Johansson was the actor in the movie Her that played this AI that was on the person's computer and talked to them. She has recently sued ChatGPT for imitating her voice, so they have removed that particular voice from this product, but they have several others that work just as well. It can understand intonation, it can understand emotion, it can produce those things. It sounds very human-like. It can see everything on his screen while he's live editing it. So it has video understanding. It has generative understanding of video as it takes it in as an input, as audio as an input. So it's multimodal. This is why it's called GPT 4.0. 4.0, O stands for omni, meaning all methods of input and output. This is the future of personalized or individualized tutoring. And that's something that you should be aware is coming. It's going to radically change how people have interacted with these generative language models. And they have done a lot with them so far, but they're so far, like what we are interacting with now is the worst it will ever be. It is only getting better, faster, quicker, stronger, and cheaper. And that's happening, as I said, about every 3 months right now, based on the data. So what can you do with generative video? Well, you can use it as an input. You can also use it as an output. Here's a little quick video showing that off. This entire video was made with AI. There was no human interaction, no human actors.
Well, they say everyone has something unique about them, something that sets them apart.
Spencer, I am not seeing the
Quite
video.
obvious what that thing is.
I don't know if I'm the only one
I
that
am
is not
literally
seeing
filled
it.
with hot air. Yeah, living like
in to use their Sora platform, Sora being the generative AI video. And if you're concerned about what you could create using that and what you could make people look like they're doing or happening, then you are correct. And they have not released this publicly. However, you have to understand that OpenAI is one of 100 companies working to make this kind of technology. And they have not released it. But that's not to say that any other companies may not come along and release something like it very soon. If it exists, others are going to try to copy it. That is all the more important for this next video, which again has not been released publicly. This is from Microsoft. It's called VASA 1. And this is a different use case for generative video.
I would say that we as readers are not meant to look at him in any other way but with disdain, especially in how he treats. Will prevent those cavities from getting worse and prevent new cavities.
So you can see here, Microsoft plans to use this to create these virtual worlds. But again, they've invented this technology. Everyone else is going to try to duplicate it very quickly. And you can imagine pairing that with something like this, where suddenly instead of a little circle here, you have a talking face that seems and feels just like a real human being. That's going to be impactful, I think, when it releases. And I would expect this to be commonplace within the next year. Something else that we should expect to be pretty commonplace. I'm not going to show off this entire video here, but NVIDIA has created the ability to train virtual worlds, what they're calling digital twins, allowing us to now train robots 10,000 times faster in a digital world than they can in a physical world. And so using that technology, one company 3 months ago, this was 3 months ago, they were able to train a robot entirely in a digital world. And then they let it loose in the physical world. And this happened. This dog robot never once walked on a yoga ball in the real world until they dropped it on there for the first time. Everything it did was trained virtually, which is done 10,000 times faster, allowing it to do this without error, basically. No mistakes, no crashes, no load time, which is pretty huge. So the speed at which everything is growing continues to improve. And that leads us to our last video. This is a partnership between OpenAI, ChatGPT, and a robotics company. This is called the Figure 1 robot.
Hey, Figure 1, what do you see right now?
I see a red apple on a plate in the center of the table, a drying rack with cups and a plate, and you standing nearby with your hand on the table.
Great, can I have something to eat?
Sure thing.
Great. Can you explain why you did what you just did while you pick up this trash?
On it. So I gave you the apple because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the table.
Great. So, based on the scene right now, where do you think the dishes in front of you go next?
The dishes on the table, like that plate and cup, are likely to go into the drying rack next.
Great. Can you put them there?
Of course.
We'll pause it here. This kind of ends our exploration of the future of where AI and generative technology is heading. They are using it to generate everything from physical environments to language to video. And now we can embody our AI inside of robots. This is one of about 7 that are out there that are going to be on the market probably within the next year, I would imagine. And you can imagine, again, this showing up in places. Whether or not that's going to be in school environments, I don't know. But you can see the applications of this tech is starting to really seep into the world at large. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this screen share now, and we're going to switch to a different one, which is going to look at particular tools that are available to you as teachers and how you can start to benefit from these now instead of waiting for the future. So we already talked about quizzes being one of my favorites. ChatGPT doesn't seem to want to work for me. Yep, it just crashed, which is terrible because I have lots I could show you on that. But I guess I'll be saving that for a future session. We do have plenty of other AIs, thankfully. This one is called Claude.ai. And it's reloading. Good, it's here. Claude AI is really nice because their free version is almost as good as their paid version. Now, ChatGPT just released their best version, their 4.0 Omni model, for free to every single person out there. And that means I can create those custom GPTs that I showed off in my previous video and share them. Those links that I put up at the end of that video, you can access those, if not now, then within the next week. All of these get rolled out slowly to people over a few week period. So if you don't have access to it now, ChatGPT will give you the opportunity to access all of those training GPTs that I created for educators. And I'm going to be going back to them now because I stopped when people said they couldn't access them because it was paid users only. I'm going to go back to them this summer and try to start updating those because now everybody can get them. I can share that link with anyone and anyone can access them at any time. Claude, meanwhile, has always been free for their Sonnet version. Their Opus 3 version is the most intelligent model. I have experimented with both, and really the free one is pretty excellent. This one, I just said, give me some prompts as a high school educator that could show off your usefulness, and it gave a bunch of examples that I could copy and paste into a new context window. I want to say something when you're using Claude. Claude remembers everything from your conversation. The longer you keep typing, the more it's going to slow down, and also the more free tokens it's going to use. So if you're a free user in Claude, you can use Control-K, and it'll give you a new screen every single time, and then you can just start your next question there. Some of the others that I did say you could ask about are Copilot, which is useful because it has live access to the internet. Claude does not. Claude is stopped. It has zero internet access from its last training session, which was about February or January of this year. ChatGPT does have internet access for paid users. I haven't tried the free version yet, but Copilot does use GPT-4 in it. So this is basically internet plus ChatGPT-4. So if you want to be searching questions and then asking follow-up questions, that's the nice thing about using one of these online enabled ones. You can do research. It gives you all these links. So it live links some of these to where it's pulled its news from. You can see down here, it's got all the sources. That's very good because some of the other ones don't give you that. Google's Gemini is similar, that it will give you live up-to-date news. I have not found Google to be very accurate, however. I have had the most issues with Google and Gemini hallucinating. That may change. These models update every 3 months. Currently, I have had the most issues, so I can't tell you too much about Gemini because I try not to use it because of that reason. I run into those issues a lot. Hold on, I need to get this out of the way. There we go. Nope. Okay, let's try this. The next one that I just showed you in the earlier video is called Perplexity. And as you can see here, I don't have access to the newest feature, but you might. It's free, perplexity.ai. You might want to try that later. I sent you a link about this site called Find. Find is nice because it's a .com. Now, if you don't understand that, .ai often gets blocked. Some school systems won't let you use it. Find is an open source website-based AI search system. So it has internet access. It doesn't require a login. I can, but I don't have to. It lets you search through lots of websites, and it gives you all those websites on the side here. And it has wonderful little follow-up suggestions at the bottom that helps you continue your search. It was designed for coders, but it is really useful as a general purpose. It's open source. That means it's free. Don't expect a lot from the answer quality. It's not as good as these others, but it's one of those nice workaround options for especially people if they run into login issues or anything like that, that it can be a good tool that you can offer your students. I sent you Pi.ai. Pi.ai I like mostly as an app on my phone because I like to talk to it. Give me some news from this morning. Let's see what it says.
Here are some news stories from this morning, fresh off the press. Wait, Trump on the ballot. Despite his recent guilty verdict, Donald Trump's name will still appear.
All right, we don't need to talk more about that. I am going to be able to show you one feature in ChatGPT because I preloaded this. Yay. And that is the image generation. I said as a prompt, can you create some examples of images you would prompt my students to be creative? And he gave me a nice 10 of them. And I said, just give me some of those, please. And it created some beautiful graphics. I don't do this often. I don't do enough image creation, despite being in the art department at my school. I mostly deal with code. So I don't do much art creation. But for a lot of people, this kind of stuff is fun to just start to get ideas for stories telling or for visualizing. There's a great activity I heard in elementary school used this feature to train their kids to use more descriptive language, because after it produced an image they typed in that they wanted, they'd say, did that make exactly what you were thinking, or did it make something else? And if it made something else, then we need to find more descriptive language to use. So they used it as a little mini lesson there. So image creation is not video creation, but it still can do some pretty incredible things. And there's lots of image creators out there. ChatGPT 4, again, is free, and it gives you the option to do image creation, I believe, as soon as you unlock it, and which may or may not have happened for your account yet. But if it hasn't, it should be there in the next 3 weeks. This is a tool that our school recently adopted called Flint AI. And I want to talk briefly about this because it does all of the functionality of ChatGPT. It uses GPT-4, but it's built into a school environment, which means, first of all, everything I create, all my custom tutors, and I can look at those. I've created a bunch of custom tutors here, and that is shared with every single other person at my school. So I can see all the tutors that my school has been creating. These are all teachers from my school. And hey, Mr. Diaz, I think you're in this class right now. So they've been creating some of these. Recently, we worked with creating the language department, some Spanish tutors, conversational. You can begin in conversations with these tutors, and they speak in the native language and they respond in the native language, which is something very cool. But really, it just gives you ChatGPT in a localized format. So we just adopted Flint. It's a startup. I highly recommend, if your school is looking for like a school-wide solution to get AI in the hands of every kid and teacher, this is a great option and really affordable, about 80 times cheaper than what it would have cost for us to individually buy accounts. It allows me as the AI coordinator at our school to see every single person's conversation. So if there's any person I'm curious about and like, I don't know what they're doing with this, what are they creating? I can just go look it up, right? I can go look up and see what it is you've been doing with probability, right? I could open this, students. Here's something that I created myself, which was using, making a tic-tac-toe game, and it created all of the JavaScript code for me. So I can see what my coding students are doing. It allows for the voice interactivity, and it allows for an analysis at the end of every session. You can actually create assignments that focus on the process of what the students are writing, and then analyzes it, giving the strengths, weaknesses, and ideas for a follow-up tutor if they want to keep going on this activity. You can also print it. And this is something that I'm actually going to have all of you do today, is print/save your activities. If you could just do a print to PDF, most everybody has this option to print to PDF. I would love for you to submit a session that shows your process of using an AI for a creative purpose. This is something I envision a lot of teachers wanting to do in the next year, because we're taking that emphasis off of product, as they mentioned in the symposium video, and we're looking at process. And how do you assess process? Well, I need to see your process. I need to see the kind of questions you asked. Did you ask any follow-up questions here? Did you go with like improving this? Or did you just use a single question and then that was the end of it? This allows students to just print their sessions. It allows me to see all of their sessions. So it's a really good tool. It is a paid tool, as I said. This is not free, but it was very affordable for my opinion. So if you have questions on that, feel free to reach out to me. I will be training our entire school on using this in the fall because it's more accessible than trying to get everybody their individual ChatGPT accounts. So that's the basic coverage of all of the tools, minus, of course, let's see one more time. Yeah, ChatGPT does not want to load for me. So that will be saved next time. I will show you all the custom tutors and custom GPTs that you can create and my little hints and tricks for doing that. For today, I know everybody comes from a different place. So what I'd like for you to do is finish today's class in a collaborative way, working on some of these quests that I have designed for you. And these are all found. If you go to our Educate Modules site, you will see now one module under files. And I have put your quests for the day. There are 10 quests here. I don't expect you to do these 10. I expect you to pick your favorite from this list. You can, of course, go and access this on the Educate Modules site, or you can sit here and look for ideas on my screen if you want. And I'm going to split us into about 10 different rooms to work on these. I will let you pick which room you want to go to, hoping that each of you, if you want to create some interactive stories, go to room 1. Everybody go to room 1 for that one. If you want to work on solving teaching challenges using AI to ideate with you, go to room 5. I'll create 10 rooms and I'll let you pick. And the hope is that you would start some conversations there. You would show, maybe you can share screen with some other people if you come up with some cool ideas. But I want everybody to come up with one of these challenges today, and I want you to save all of your text, all of your prompts, all of your outputs. I want you to print that to a PDF, and I want you to upload that. That is your homework for this first session, is to create using any of the AI tools that I've shown you so far. I even gave you a list of example prompts. So if you don't know how to begin an interactive story, here you go. You can just copy and paste this. I put this in the document on Educate Modules as well. My favorite with Claude is this one: simulate a classroom scenario where a student is struggling to a complex math situation. I actually like to act as the student and have it simulate a teacher I wish I could take their class. I want a teacher who teaches using Socratic method. Simulate that class. I want to be a student in that class. You can ask it to do that, and then you can hone it in to kind of experiment and try out. Much like you would those digital worlds where they trained robots, we can train ourselves using simulated classroom environments. So I'm going to go ahead and set up the classes now. I'll stop the share here. I'm going to put everybody into breakout rooms, and I believe, okay, we're going to go manual. So you can choose your own room. So I am opening the rooms at this time. You've got the last 15 minutes of class to jump into a room and maybe just start talking about any of those quest ideas that you want to try. So pick a number. I'll go ahead and share my screen again. You won't see it once you join the room. You'll leave this screen, but this is where I'm going to leave you here. So here's my screen once more. This is the interactive story, simulate a classroom. I'll actually go back one more to here. So these got numbers with them. So if any of these interest you, pick the room that corresponds to it. You should see that option on somewhere on your screen. Everyone should be able to join a room. I did not assign you to a room, so you can kind of take your pick. Any of these ideas that interest you, jump on in there, talk to some fellow teachers, share your great finds, your great ideas. You can share your screen, I believe, once you get in those rooms. And we're going to finish class here, trying for some collaboration. Okay, let's see. Well, very popular, room number 4. Okay. I don't know.
I know, isn't that funny, Spencer? I thought the same thing.
Developing educational games. I love it. That's the first thing I tried to do with this, honestly, is create a simulator that would make a really fun interactive game to teach the content naturally. And I'm still working on that idea. It's just I've been waiting for the tech to kind of catch up. Memory has been a new feature on ChatGPT I wanted to show off. And again, we'll have to wait till next time, it seems. What a perfect time for ChatGPT to crash. I have not seen it crash in 3 months, probably.
I know. By the way, right? I was gonna ask that. When was the last time?
Actually, Spencer, while I have you here, how's Flint going for you? Because we had they're based out here, and we're going to start using them next year.
I have absolutely loved Flint. Everything about it is exactly how I would have designed an educational tool that integrates generative AI. It is there to help the teachers know how the kids are using it. One of the coolest things you can do now is say, if I don't see it in your Flint process, and you turn in a paper that just has all this writing, where did that come from?
Right.
That's an easy, redo the assignment, because I want to see your whole process, and it records every person's work. And then you can just kind of each teacher creates their tutor for that one assignment, and they can see every kid who's accessed that assignment, every single thing they've asked. It gives them the generative AI while also giving them the knowledge that what they're doing is being assessed, is given for feedback, is being used to form their learning. So it just takes the product phase right out of the question and says, this is all about process. This is about the learning and the refinement process. And I love that feature. I love the shareability. My kids in my computer science class, first kid got 100% in the class, makes a tutor. Every other kid immediately goes and takes that kid's tutor and starts to use it. And I was just like, that's genius. You guys realize that he's probably figured this out and knows exactly what to say to get the result. And then suddenly they have a really helpful, he basically cloned himself and now he assists every kid in the class. So the shareability is really cool as well. And then the simplicity, it's just so simple, straightforward, intuitive. There's no nonsense. It's just exactly what you would want with added ability of auto-generating feedback rubrics and auto-generating assessment at the end. And I could not imagine a better way to approach it. And they popped up within 1 year of this. Like,
yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
and I do standards-based grading, so this is a revelation for me, that being able to do the process. The only thing is I can tell I'm behind you on integration because I'm not there yet in terms of development because we just met them in the spring.
Yeah.
And we're trying to onboard them now. So
yeah, Brian, I would say everybody is behind me right now. But that's kind of my own path and journey, and that's why I'm teaching this class today. I tried to get quite a bit ahead January of last year when I recognized what was happening. So my hope is to lead other people to this point, and I think we'll get there. And we get there faster and faster the better the technology gets, because you can use the tech to train the tech, and that's really the key, is using technology to train the technology. Currently, I'm training myself on how to use Zoom. Apparently, there's several features I forgot about. I've been directly messaging Nina, I think, the whole time instead of the class. So I keep trying to answer people's questions by typing in the chat and nothing happens.
Oh, good. That makes us feel like at least we know something, Spencer. But you did do, I like the choose your own breakout rooms.
Yeah.
So it's funny, you never do that. I just assign. So I felt like I did master something today instead of my notes to myself that I have so much to learn.
Good. Yeah, no, I was debating this morning. I woke up and for an hour, I was like, how am I going to do the breakout rooms? Should I just assign them? Should I give them the choice? I want to show off choice in the classroom. This is the perfect way to do it. Is it too complicated to give them 10 options? It's like all these thoughts were going through my head.
No, it's great. It's great. And it is great to highlight the Educate Modules group too, because it's like the specific stuff, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess the last things to tell the group is there will be several people had to leave before this. They all emailed me. So hopefully we'll get the link to this sent out. Kristen, are you going to send me that and then I can share it?
The link to what? To the group?
To this session.
We'll send it to you. I'm not sure how long it'll take. Kristen should do it as soon as it's ready. I'll make sure.
I'll wait for that before sending my follow-up email.
Okay, gotcha. And then, hopefully we can load it into this Educate Modules site, so it's just there.
Oh, yeah, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be perfect. Yeah, well, that's a great idea.
Probably tomorrow.
Okay, I'll let everybody know that here when we close the rooms, which I will do in probably now.
Oh, actually, Spencer, no, I misspoke. I'm sorry. I think we did check that. I think we have to load it onto our JSN website.
Okay.
So don't say the specifics yet. Kristen was checking on that for me.
Gotcha.
Kristen Smith, the other Kristen.
All right, I'm going to close the rooms and we will wrap it up here at the last 2 minutes. Give everyone 60 seconds to finish their conversations. Okay. All right, welcome back, everyone. Hopefully you're back in here and you can hear what I'm saying as we're going to wrap up the class. I hope that was enjoyable to collaborate a little bit, share some ideas. I know we didn't have a ton of time for it today. That is part of the plan for the future module. Speaking of modules, here on Educate Modules, you can see some of the stuff I've created. This is under Documents. So this is where I would like you to upload your process. Again, you don't have to do what you just worked on. You can pick a different topic. I recommend you try several things and then find your favorite. Down here is the assignment, Explore Module 1. And you'll see in there all the 10 things you can try and 10 idea prompts if you don't have any ideas yourself. And then uploading here, just pick the folder to put it in, matching with the quest number. Over here is the conversations tab. I've started 4 conversations already, and I am hopeful that you all will engage with these. As you have questions for me, please ask them under questions. That way everyone can see the responses. I'm sure they would all benefit from the questions you have. If you find resources, somebody already threw out their school AI. I haven't explored that one yet because I've been all in on Flint. But you can throw a resource here if I didn't mention it today and you think that would be a great video or that'd be a great resource. Also, success stories. I'd love to hear if you guys have already tried AI in your classrooms, what you found successful with it. So by next class, and I'll send this out in an email, along with a link to this recording today, you should have one thing uploaded on here, and I'll send a bunch of other optional resources in that email as well. That's it for our time today. Thank you all for attending. We're going to be closing this out, and our next session is July. I can't remember the exact date, but that'll be in the email also. 2nd, maybe, is that what I heard, or 3rd?
Yeah, July 2.
July 2, thank you. Okay.
Hey, Spencer and Kristen, apparently time zones are beyond me. So I'm sorry. I thought I was Pacific time, but I guess I'm California time at the moment. So I came late.
No worries, you're not alone. I'm not even sure the numbers of time zones on this call, so don't.
It's so
We recorded it, so you can catch up.
good. Okay, I will do that. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Kristen, do we need anything else here to end the call, or just a farewell?
Nope, I don't think so. Just a farewell. Thank you to everyone, and thank you to Spencer for such a great kickoff. I'm not alone in feeling like I have so much to learn.
Don't we all? And it will. Lifelong learning has begun.
Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thanks for coming.